How much does the inside of a triangle add to make? 180. Okay, good. From middle school, you should have learned this, that the inside of a triangle adds to make 180. Normally in middle school, you're doing like singular triangles to add to make 180. Our pictures are going to get a little bit crazier because they are going to involve multiple triangles. So if we look at this triangle over here, let's start. We have to find angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3. There are 3 triangles in this picture. You have the small one to the left. You have the medium-sized one to the right. And then actually the whole entire shape is also a triangle. You can do this you do it in many different ways. So for number 1, what do you think we have to do? Add them.
Subtract.
And subtract from 180. I'm not literally going to show any math because you can do this in a calculator. What do you get? 30. So you did 66. You add 84 in a calculator because you don't even need to write it down. And then you're subtracting from 180 because angle 1, all 3 of these need to add to make 180 because it's one triangle in itself. So each triangle adds to make 180, not all of them added together. Okay, so if I go to angle 2, I need to find angle 2. This angle is 43. We don't know angle 3. Does anybody see something that we could do to either find angle 2 or 3? You don't have to go in order necessarily.
Can you subtract?
And then anything else? Nope. Okay, I cannot technically add this, and this together to make 180 because I'm missing 2. I have 2 unknowns. Obviously, I can't figure out the third. I don't know the 2. So let's think about how I could find maybe angle 3 first. What could I? No. So what could I do with 84 and 3? What do angle 84 and angle 3 add to make if they're next to each other? 180, because what are they actually forming? They're forming a straight line. So these are a linear pair. So if this is 84, what could angle 3 be to add to make 180? 96. What'd you do? I'm so confused. But you don't know that that's 43 and that's not 43. Okay, you're saying subtract 43 twice. Whatever. Okay. Anyways, so if this is 96, if this is 96 and this is 43, what would have to be the third angle of the triangle to make 180? 41. Good. So it's a lot of like, you don't necessarily have to write anything down. You're going to have to think outside the box a little bit and try to figure out all the missing numbers. Okay. But each triangle individually should add to make 180. So let's go to the next theorem. So the first theorem was triangle sum. They have to add to make 180. Triangle sum theorem, which means like a rule. Okay. Exterior angle theorem, you would have also talked about in middle school at some point in your life. The rule for this one is that the 2 interior angles have to add to make the outside angle. Okay, so we're going to say the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3. So you have to add the inside angles to equal the outside. I call this the tail. So if it's got a little tail, then you are adding the 2 inside and it's equal to the outside. A lot of people during second period were trying to add all 3 of these to make 180. You can't add to make 180 because angle 1 is not on the inside of the triangle. It's on the outside of the triangle. Okay. So the 2 inside add to make the outside. So if we know that the outside of this problem is 104 and this is 79, what would angle 1 have to be? What did you say? 25? 25. How did you get that? How'd you get that? Perfect. That's the answer. So normally you add to make you add the inside to make the outside. You knew the outside, so that's why I just subtracted. So it's the opposite of adding. Okay, let's go to example 1. So example 1, we need to solve for x, and we need to find each angle measure, meaning we have to plug it back in at the end. So what do I have to do here? Tell me. Heck yes. Doesn't matter which one goes first? No. So write a little small. So I'm going to start with 9x plus 3 because it's at the top. Plus 11x minus 21 plus 5x minus 2, and it equals to 180. Because this triangle is just a regular triangle, they all have to add to make 180. It looks really, really long, which is going to happen, but it reduces down to a 2-step equation every single time, so it doesn't really matter. So what would I have to do next to simplify it? Combine like terms. So I'm going to combine all the x's. So what's 9x, 11x, and 5x going to bring down? Good. If I combine the constants or the numbers, which is 3, negative 21, and negative 2, nope. Nope. What? No. No. 3 minus 21 minus 2, negative 20. So even though it started out really long, it's going to reduce anyways. So just combine like terms, make your life easier. So I'm going to add 20 and divide, and then I have my x. So if you get x equals 8, you are not done, because you need to find each angle measure. You don't have to write this part out. You can use the calculator. So if x is 8 and I'm trying to find, let's start with angle F. In a calculator, you're doing 11 multiplied by 8, which is 88. What's 88 minus 21? 67. So F is 67 degrees. If I do the same thing for E, now you don't have to write it out. You just need to write out the answer. You're doing 9 times 8. What's 9 times 8? 72. I'm adding 3. What do I get? 75. And then 5 times 8 is 40. If I minus 2, 38. I don't know why I put 380. And then you could check your answer. All three of these added together should make 180. Okay, so take a second, look at number 2, try to set up number 2's example. It is not the same as example 1. What's up? Yeah, keep it. Yeah. It was the measure of 1 equals the measure of 2 plus measure of 3. Yes, bring me your pass, or bring me your phone.
So will we add B and K together?
Yes. To equal to the other thing.
I won't be here tomorrow, so can I just turn it in?
Okay. Can anybody, I know you're not done solving unless like you are done solving. Can anybody tell me the equation for example 2? Good. So because this one has the tail, if it's got a little tail, it's on the outside. The inside adds to make the outside. So if you haven't done so, take a minute, combine like terms first. It'll make your life easier. On the left side of your equation, combine your x's, combine your numbers. Yes. On back wall. What's negative 32 minus 27? Thanks. Somebody's out. Yeah. Would you prefer to plus what? Ugh. Would you prefer to add 8 or 59? Yeah, I would add 59. Because most people are going to 59, you weirdo. But if you add 8, you're going to get the same answer anyway, so it doesn't really matter. That's wrong. That's because you added 8 instead of 59. What? Because, oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, I was like a step ahead. You get extra credit.
Is it 17?
I was like thinking like I'm gonna have to minus a 9 and 12 minus 9 is 3, but I like switched my steps. Oh, my bad. That was a terrible mistake.
How do you have to minus 8? I'm actually done.
Okay. Shh. Can you guys stop? Shh.
But should we do the thing that we do?
Yes, you have to plug it back in. No, I mean, okay, if Donald, I'm not talking to you. No. Okay, thanks. What about K?
Oh,
87. And then L? How do you figure out the angles? Hi. Thank you. Save you. Okay, for number 3, this is multiple triangles, but you're not just thinking triangles. You're thinking old stuff that we've done in class before. You're thinking angles that crisscross across each other. Complementary angles add to make 90. Supplementary angles add to make 180. So this is where it starts kind of like all mushing together a little bit. So let's start by trying to find angle 1, just because 1, usually it's a good place to start. You don't have to start there, but we're going to start at 1. So I have 1 here. I have 95 here. I have 2, but that's not the angle measure. I have to find that. Huh? Does anybody know how I could find 1? Chase, do you know how I could find 1? No, it's not 34. Yes, because they are adjacent, nice vocab word. Adjacent means that they share a common side. Since they're adjacent, and they add the straight line, they add to make 180. They are a linear pair. So if this is 129, then what does angle 1 have to be to make 180? What'd you say? 51. So if makes a triangle, what does 2 have to be? 34. Okay. What is angle 3? Yes. This angles are congruent. So because you know that this is 95, you can jump across and also put 95 here because vertical angles are congruent. Yes. So what's 4? Because you have to add them and then you subtract from 180 to get your 38. 5 is 47 because, Peter, shut up. 5 is 47 because vertical angles are congruent. So 47 can go here. 7's 59 because they're supplementary. They're a linear pair. And then 76 is, or not 76. Not 76. Because these two, just like you said over here, how they're a linear pair. 74. So for the next one, take a second, look at it. It has a vocabulary word from elementary school and middle school. What does equilateral mean? What's all equal? The angles are all equal. What else is all equal? The sides are equal. So an equilateral triangle has congruent sides and keyword here, angles. So you could do this one of 2 different ways. Does anybody have an idea of what I could do?
Or did that equal 8?
So you could do this times 3 because there's 3 angles. And then it would equal what? 180. Now, how do you get rid of your parentheses? Distributive property. So take a second, distribute. I'm going to freeze my screen so that way I can solve the problem too. Distribute the 3 in. It's a 2-step equation. See if you get the same answer as the person next to you.
Let's see if you got the same let's see if you got the same answer.
Well, am I done? Yeah, that's why I told you.
Is it 28?
No. Okay, well, no, I didn't get that same answer.
What did I do?
Yeah, when she gets back.
What did I do?
I don't know. Did you distribute? 13 is correct. Did you distribute the 2 or the 3? What's 3 times 8?
I did the 8x minus 14, 44 equals 28.
Oh, you have to multiply by 3. You're the one who said multiply by 3, didn't you? Okay.
Give me your white out.
What do you get for? No, yeah. I'm running out. This is the last one I have. Yes, you should get 13. Okay, moving on to the bottom one. Take a second and at the bottom, think about vertical angles. Think about linear pairs. Add to make 180. If it's next to each other, it has to add to make 180. Take a second and put the numbers in the picture. If you don't put them in the picture, it's not going to help you lead on to the next thing. So try to figure out all the missing blanks in the bottom. You guys got this. Like a puzzle. Oh, he's going. He already asked me. Go ahead. When he comes back, you can go.
I just came into here.
Here's my. What period were you in? 6? Yeah, 6. No, because it says solve for X.
Yeah, and guess what?
We got a line going. When he gets back, she's going. When she gets back, you can go.
Miss Ellen. It's 390.
Yeah.
It's 490.
Yeah, what's the fine because if you at 180.
Okay, so four, okay, so one.
Do I times 180 by 3? So then,
No.
so it just equals 180.
Yeah.
So-
Thank you.
So 6 is 90.
Oh, so 112.
Here, so that because 3 is already 96.
I had a septic.
So 6 look like it's 18.
Same guy.
It's different.
Isn't this skinny guy young, but we haven't interviewed this morning. He was annoying, but he was screaming at me. It's because he kept walking.
Was 6 be 180?
Everyone do their stuff.
Was 6 13?
6 is not 180. 6 and 5 need to add to make 180. 5 is not 112.
He did that to me, I think.
Yeah, but what? Oh, I didn't even think. Look at you, big brain. Okay.
It was only.
Okay. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about angle 1. So, angle 1 is a linear pair to 68. It's bigger than 68. So, shh. What is angle 1? 112. Okay. Shh. What is angle 2? 68 because vertical angles are congruent. What about 3? 90 because it's a linear pair, meaning it adds to make 180. These add to make 180. What's 4? 90 because vertical angles are congruent. Okay, now this is where you may have gotten like, meh. Okay, angle 5. How do you find angle 5? 90 plus 68, and then you subtract from 180 because this actually makes a triangle on the inside. So what is 5? 22. And then these two also make the linear pair. So what's 6? 158.
Oh, I put that.
So this is like more of like puzzle. You got to kind of think outside the box. Like this takes me to this. This takes me to this. On the back is a bunch of practice problems. We're not skipping any because most of them are very easy. Some of them don't even really require work because you could just do it in the calculator. If you need to write an equation, write the equation out and solve it. If it's just a triangle, it adds to make 180. The insides add to make 180. So for like number, I don't know, let's look at like number 2. You could just do this in the calculator. If you want to write out an equation, that's fine too. This is just a triangle. You could do x plus 96 plus 21 equals 180. You can write out an equation or you can do it in a calculator. I'm okay with that. If it has a tail, like number, let's just go right underneath it, like number 5, what is the rule if it's got a little tail? Good. So it's the inside adds to make the outside. So if it's got the tail, the insides add to make the outside because it's the exterior angle theorem.
Did you mean 180?
No. If it's just a triangle, it adds to make 180. If it's got a tail, it adds to make the outside. The tail is the outside, so it's the inside equals outside.
So like,
Wait, what number are you on?
5.
Oh, it's a 2x plus 3 plus 51 equals 100. Yes. So if it's got a tail, it's adding to make the outside. Okay, let me know if you get stuck. Let me know if you need help. Just the triangle's 180. Is not 100. It's whatever's on the outside. So like this one, number 6, it's going to be equal to the outside, which is 94. Let me know if you get stuck. Let me know if you need help. They're not terrible. Once you get going, you'll see they'll go fast.